Hey guys, it's Brandon. So I'm just leaning back in the seat of my car. Woke up from a nap a little bit ago. Came out here, just chilling in my car, just thinking. I almost regret putting up these videos. I probably regret them. I don't know. Definitely very torn inside about putting up these videos. I'll just cut to the chase. Really, what it comes down to is the harsh reality. I'm not trying to pick on people. I'm not trying to get people to go commit suicide. But really what it comes down to, guys, is I'm afraid that the world leaders have a point, because what it really boils down to, like when you boil the whole equation down to its simplest form and you get rid of all the other bullshit on both sides of the equation, you just get down to the most basic logic. It is, we would cease to exist if the super weapons were out in the open. That's it. There's too many people on this planet who want to hold each other ransom. And they're just going to say, I don't like my life. You make me king. And if you don't make me king, I'm going to blow this whole place up. And they don't even have to say that. They just have to be irrational enough to want to blow up the other location and just hope and pray that the other location isn't going to retaliate back and kill them. You know what I'm saying? With the same super weapon. So the only way to keep the super weapons off limits, and I've said this a bazillion times, I'm going to say it again, is you've got to give people a bogus physics which takes them down some BS rabbit hole so that they can't really understand how atoms work. When I try to explain this to people, and this is the part where I'm not trying to get people to commit suicide, I'm just being real here for a second. When I try to explain this to people who are like my close friends, who I consider pretty intelligent guys, one guy, and again, I'm not trying to pick on him, it's not his fault. But one guy was one of my best friends for a long time. I know that he should understand physics just as well as I do. He went to the same classes in school as I did, okay? But the point is, I've realized that the average, not even the average Joe, most people on this planet they're either robot physicists where they just go by the book, or they just can't visualize physics at all. They can't see things in their minds. And while I would love to explain it to prove to you guys that I'm not being like a pseudo-physicist, like crazy person, like the pyramids are pure energy, dude. No. It's so simple what I want to explain. Just boil it down to its simplest form and show you something. And it's right in front of your face. But the world leaders have figured out a way to keep you distracted away from seeing how simple it is. The reason why the world leaders, in my opinion, want to keep the population in check of this world, they want to keep the population of humanity in check, is because it's the amount of people that they have to police about the superphysics. It's not about how much food there is for everybody. It's not about anything. It's about the superphysics. It's about making sure that they have humanity under control. The reason why they need to be able to censor you, it's about the superphysics. That's what it's about. But they can't come out and say that, because then you'll start keeping it secret. You'll be like, I'm going to work on the physics and I'm going to figure it out and I'm not going to tell us all. That's their worst nightmare. So once you understand that things like the CIA and NSA and different things, they have to be funded. If hypothetically physics has to be controlled, and you got to spoon feed people bogus physics, then you've got to be able to pay a bunch of people's salaries, both at the collegiate level and you know, the university level, and also the law enforcement level, to make sure that these super sciences stay secret. And if you tell the masses that's what the money is for, like, we're going to tax you guys and then we're going to devote it to these guys, and the budget just keeps going up and 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 up, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Enough already. See, people would know that the equations, that there's more to physics, if they knew that they were being policed to prevent the physics from being released. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, like they came out and said, we have to police the physics, and we're going to take half your fucking paycheck. Okay. You would then know that you don't have the right physics. Okay. It wouldn't be a debate anymore. So for them to be able to do this, they've got to figure out ways to cloak tax you. Now, the ultimate cloak tax is events, where they bet the markets accordingly, and you go the other way, and you go the way of the herd. They make things happen the other way, and they bet on it in the options market, and then they cloak the fact that they bet on it. That's the simplest way I know how to put it. And now these billionaires who don't want to be blown up. I mean, here's what it comes down to, guys. You don't understand, like, how much it's just, I've known all along, but, and I'm not mad at my friends. I'm really not mad at my friends. I mean that genuinely. I've known all along that it's just a paradox. Okay, things have to be the way that they are. And this last, like, few weeks, man, things have really just been clicking. And my gut told me to go off on one of my friends. I'm not saying that I should have done that. I'm not saying that he deserved it. I had to do it for me internally. I had to do it for me internally, just to call a spade and see that getting mad at a person does not wake them up. If people are genetically incapable, which even if he would have been genetically capable of understanding what the hell I'm talking about with this currency thing, okay, that would have just prolonged the inevitable of me learning the hard way with somebody else. So it's better off that I just learn it with him, that people just cannot, people's minds can't lift the weight. They can't do the bigger computing. And once you realize that people's minds can't do the heavy lifting, okay, and they can't escape the paper bag without you helping them, then it really just comes down to the fact that the world leaders, the people who are running the show, they're not bad people. They are, whatever evil you think that the world leaders are up to, whatever pain you think they cause society, I mean, go ahead and just throw it all out there, the worst that you can possibly think of. Throw out the drug trade, human trafficking, slavery, blah, 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 blah. Throw it all out there. Go ahead, call them devil worshippers. Throw the worst of the worst of the worst. Just completely say it's all fact. These guys are total assholes. Now, you get rid of them and you get rid of the police force that prevents the super weapons, and you will experience more pain and your life will come to an end at a very rapid pace. That's fact. The definition of a good economy for you is you can make ends meet after a little bit of work, and then you have plenty of time to tinker because you've made enough money after a little bit of work, and now you got all the toys and you can afford goods and all these different things. The definition of a bad economy is you work 12 hours a day and you can barely make ends meet and you can barely afford things to play with and you don't have the time to tinker. If you're going to keep a society safe from figuring out the super weapons, is it a good economy that you want society to be in, or is it a bad economy? The answer is it's a bad economy. So you use the quote-unquote zero-sum game involving the stock markets and other markets. You use the zero-sum game where the elites are kept on top through insider trading, and that vacuums money away from the masses. And it's all a balance. You don't completely starve the masses, but you don't completely let them run wild either. Okay? And don't get me wrong, some people are going to starve. That's the necessary evil. We're on a planet that doesn't hold infinite people. Why? Because it's too hard to police the amount of people to keep the world safe. There's too many people. There's too many people out there like me figuring out the real physics. And not everybody's like me where they say, I'm not going to build anything bad. I'm not going to teach everybody exactly what it is that they're missing. I'm just going to keep this feather in my hat, and now I understand what's really going on. Not everybody's like me. Some people, they have to send out task force to silence the people. You see what I'm saying? It takes man, boots on the ground. It takes, okay. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes money, it takes enlightened people to go out and silence people one way or the other. That's the Matrix. They're going to have, I already said, they're going to have the markets go up and up and up, and then dip, and then go up and up and up even more. The dip will be a black swan event. That way they control when and have an excuse why things dipped. They want to keep the masses distracted away from the boundary lines. Okay, they don't want the masses to understand the boundary lines. They don't want the masses to understand the swirl pot of AI bots that trade the stock market up and down, that they've already got control of it anyhow. Even if you're not trading and nobody else is trading, they can drive the market up and down with the AI bots. They don't want the masses to understand the derivatives and all the derivatives that are there. It's like a big it's like a big graveyard for options and different things like that. So they collect anything whenever anybody sells everything away at pennies. They're like, oh, I may as well recoup some of my money. They have this big graveyard for all the options, but then if they can make the market go up and down a bunch, then the options peak up a little bit because people have hope. Ooh, I hope that that's going to become, worth even more. And so people are trading options without even being in the money, without even caring if it's in the money. They just care if it peaks up a little bit between now and expiration date. Okay, so because then they'll just trade them away at a profit. So anyhow, I could talk for a really long time about a lot of things, and eventually here I'll probably put together some videos because I have some really powerful inventions about AI. some really profound explanations about things. Stuff that I've had for a long time, it's starting to click. I'm talking like since high school I've had ideas, and all of a sudden I really feel like I knew back in high school that if a person joined the CIA, they could insider trade and just live like a king. I knew that back in high school. And then 9/11 happened, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's too much. You don't need to be killing everybody. But, as it turns out, it's not about killing everybody. It's about just keeping things in balance. All right, see ya.